Good morning, everyone. My name is Tomilola Tosineri. This is another ATP Live, courtesy of the Ask the Pediatricians Foundation. We'll be having an open house today, which means that any question regarding child health is welcomed. There is no specific topic today. It's an open house. Any question bothering you, please share with us. Dr. Bemisola Boyede is here to answer all your questions. All your questions. A brief introduction again of Dr. Bemisola Boyede. She's a consultant pediatrician and she's the founder of the Ask the Pediatricians Foundation. If you're watching us now, please share with your friends and family, share the video, call friends and family, let everybody come and ask their questions that they are bothering about, so we can all learn together. Please remember to drop your questions on the video on the foundation page, please. Even if you are watching the video from a shared platform, please go to the source to drop your questions. We have 1 hour for this live discussion, so please drop your questions. Hi, Mary. Thank you for joining. Please invite your friends and family. Let them also come and learn. And while we are waiting for the questions to start dropping, I'd like to welcome Dr. Bemisola Boyede. Dr. Bemi, thank you for joining us, ma.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Ask the Pediatricians, fans, all our guests on ATP Live. I can see we have over 35 people already on the live video, and I'm sure there are many more watching on the watch party. So today is the 1st of September 2018. I want to wish everyone a happy new month, and thank you so much for being part of Ask the Pediatricians. It's been a very wonderful month in August with our breastfeeding week and so many other things we did. And so today we're just going to have an open house. So because sometimes we have a particular question and we see people still dropping questions on unrelated topic on, and because of that we couldn't take such questions. And I know that some of you may feel, oh, but I want to ask a question on something else. So once in a month, we're going to be having the open house where we can take any and every questions. But on other days, when we are having a specific topic, we will appreciate if you restrict your questions to those topics. But today is an open house, so you are free to ask us any question whatsoever. You're also free to give us your comments, your feedback about ATP Live. If you think we have been making any form of difference, you let us know. That will encourage us further. And if you are watching and you would like to be a sponsor of ATP Life, you are also welcome. You can always contact us on askpediatricians@gmail.com, or you can call our phone numbers if you just check on our page. So we would like to have you sponsor this program. However, today is an open house, so feel free to ask your questions and then we can take them. Thank you for joining us. You're welcome.
Hi, Ezine. Thank you for joining. Adeyemo Busayo, thank you also for joining the live show. If you have any questions, please drop them.
I would like yes, thank you, Tommy. I would like our moderators to please, if there are questions on the watch party, because I know that some of our members, some people are IT challenged, so you can kind of help them kind of copy
their comments.
and put it on
Okay, and paste
the
it here.
page. Because we can only see question drop on the video directly on the page. We won't see questions dropped on other platform like on the watch party or in the group. So we'll appreciate if our moderators can help us with that. Thank you. So, Tommy, while we're waiting for the questions, I will just let us talk about what is happening right now in Ask the Pediatricians. So, what is our
Awesome.
next big event that is coming up?
Oh, yes. Outreaches,
Yes.
Independence Day outreaches.
Yeah. So, Ask the Pediatrician Foundation, we organize two major outreaches every year. We have what we call the Children's Day medical outreach, and then we also have our Independence Day outreach. So, we did. Where was our last Children's Day outreach? That was at Ekpe, and
Yes, Ekpe.
were in Lagos, and it was quite awesome
Oh,
time.
yes.
And
Very large crowd.
and yes, and one of the questions people always ask us is why only Lagos? Why only Lagos? Because ACP is international. We're in all the different countries of the world. Of course, Nigeria is still our home base, is the headquarter. So people always ask the question, how come it's only Lagos? When are you coming to Ogun State? When are you coming to Anambra? When are you coming to Warri? So people are always asking us those questions, and we have responded. And this time around, we're actually going to have our outreaches in many parts of the country. Of course, we
Okay.
can't go to every part of the country at once. So, but this
But
time around, we're going to 5 cities. I think we deserve we deserve an applause for that. So, ATP outreach this October, though some people will have their own on the 29th of
9th of
September.
September.
Yeah, it's going to be in 5 different places. So we're going to be in Abuja, that's the capital city. So Abuja Medical Outreach is coming up on the 29th of September. And so if you're in Abuja, we're going to be using the Nyanya community area. So you may want to join us there. And then we're also going to be in Abia State, and this is in conjunction with the Vicar Hope Foundation in Abia, and it's going
Okay.
to be wonderful as well. And we're also going to be in Lagos, still in our home base. So, but this
Yeah.
time around, we're going to be at Ikorodu, and so.
Okay.
So if you are around that area, you may want to join us. And apart from that, okay, we're also going to be in Kwara, and we're also going to be in we're going to be
Abeokuta.
in Abeokuta. So we're going to be in 5 different parts of the country. And so if you can be part of it, we appreciate it. Already we have enough volunteers, but we appreciate if you can support us financially for the outreach. So thank you so much. I think our questions are beginning to show now, Tommy.
Yes, the first question has dropped. Binta Sabo is asking, why is it that penicillin is stopped at the age of 5 for children with SS?
Okay, sickle cell anemia. Okay,
Sickle
yeah,
cell.
I know where you're coming from. Beta sample in some parts of the world, children with sickle cell anemia, because they are prone to certain kind of infections, they are prone to malaria, and they're also prone to what we call there's a particular group of bacteria that they are prone to having because they cannot, there are some processes they cannot, people with sickle cell anemia cannot handle. I'm trying to avoid using big medical jargons.
Big grammars.
So because
Okay.
of that, we need to protect those children against those infections. And in those parts of the world where those infections are common, they tend to put those children on penicillin prophylaxis. Penicillin is an antibiotic. So those children are
Okay.
given the penicillin as prophylaxis to protect them against having that particular infection. And so that's why. However, in Nigeria, we don't routinely put the children on penicillin because it's not very, we have more challenges with malaria. And that is why in Nigeria, all our children are usually on malaria prophylaxis. I'm talking about children with sickle cell anemia now, for
Sickle cell
those who are
anemia.
just joining. So we put them on proguanil, which is a malaria, anti-malaria prophylaxis. And that is what we give them. We usually don't routinely give them penicillin, but I know that some people do as well. Some doctors do, and but the reason why is maybe those who do, they tend to stop around the age of 5, and the reason why they stop around that period is because that is when the risk of having those infections is commoner in the first 5 years of life, and so after that the risk of having pneumococcal infection, especially against pneumococcal bacteria. The risk of having that pneumococcal infection is less. But these days, because we now have the pneumococcal vaccine, So we tend to prefer to give the children the pneumococcal vaccine rather than the penicillin. But I know that some people also do both. In other words, they give both the pneumococcal vaccine and then they also give the penicillin. But because the risk of that pneumococcal infection is highest in the first 5 years of life, after 5 years, then there may
Okay.
not be need for them to continue.
Okay, the risk is reduced. So,
Yeah,
okay,
it's not
okay.
as high. Yeah, so that is why. Thank you.
Okay, all right.
Binta, I hope we answer your
Binta,
question. If you are not satisfied, you can still drop it for us. Thank you. You can clarify for that what I mean.
Florence Adefolaju says, great program. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you very much for appreciating our efforts, ma'am. Someone asked
Hi, Tommy.
like, hello, ma'am. Okay, I think we are having a technical challenge on
Okay.
that side.
No, I'm fine now.
Dr. Babisola, are you with us now?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me? Hello, Tommy, I'm with you. Hello, can you hear me, Tommy?
Dr. Boyede?
Hello. Okay. I think we're having some technical challenge, but hopefully we'll continue. Um, so somebody is asking, thank you for what you're doing. Somebody is asking about it. Okay, Tommy,
Getting
are you
that
back?
infection is reduced. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you were reading the question about tonsils. Unfortunately, we can't. I don't understand what the question is about tonsils. So, Mrs. Adefolaju, if you can just help us copy the questions word for word and post it here, I will appreciate. And please, ATP moderators, if you are watching, can you please help us copy questions on the watch party and drop for us so that we can address them. Thank you. So I'm not sure we don't know what the person wants to know about tonsils, so we won't be able to address it for now. Okay. We
Okay,
move
all
on
right,
now.
let's go to the next question. Okonla Bukola is asking, what time should a male child penis begin to erect? Because my twin is one, okay, I think she's saying 1 year and 5 months, but
Yeah.
I've not noticed such.
Okay, thank you so much. I know Nigerian mothers worry so much about all these things. And okay, so usually most children, even from infancy before the age of 1, when they especially this tends to happen very early in the morning or when they are passing urine. So it's not. It depends on when you are watching. So I don't understand. So if the child will have it and you may not have noticed it because it's not. Some people think it's only when the children are passing urine that they will notice them having the erection, but sometimes they have it even in their sleep. Sometimes they have it on waking up in the morning. So but if it is something that bothers you, then you may just want to see the doctors. But I personally don't think it's something you need to worry about. As long as your child's testes are descended and they are there, uh, they should be fine. But if you have noticed that maybe the scrotum is feeling empty, that's if you can't feel the balls inside the scrotum, then you may want to get a doctor to examine because sometimes
So,
it's also we need to be sure that it is not you are panicking and you couldn't feel it. But if a doctor examine and if they are worried, then they can now tell you what to do about it. But so I would say don't panic, don't worry, just see your doctor if it's something bothering you. Yeah.
all right, thank you, ma'am. Next question by Claribel. Good morning. Please, my baby of 13 months cries whenever he poos, though the poo is always soft, and he drinks water and takes lots of fruits.
Okay. Thank you, Claribel. If you look around the anus, is there any wound? Is there any tear? Is there anything that could give the child pain? Because if the stools are soft and the child is not having constipation from what you said, then there's really no reason why a 1-year-old child should be crying when passing
Crying.
stool. Yeah, so unless there's a maybe sometimes that some children have like a little tear or wound
Yeah.
around that area, so when something is coming out from the anus, they can feel a little bit of pain. But if you have not noticed any of such, unless the child does the habit, some children just cry for everything. It's not that there's really anything wrong. But if you think there's really the child is really just
In
upset
pain.
or there's something causing pain, then you may really want to get a doctor to have a look at the child and just to check the child very well and make sure there's no other issue. Yeah. I hope that's answer your question, Claribel.
Temitope, thank you for joining. Hello to you also.
Yeah, thank you, Temitope.
What Aminat is asking, what can baby of 4 months use for teeth?
Okay, thank you, Amina. And so Shatomi is laughing because she knows this about these are ATP regular questions. Okay, so Amina, a baby of 4 months does not need to use anything for teeth. And if you are familiar with ATP and you know me, you know that you know my answer. I'm sure some ATP mothers can answer that question for you. So teething is a physiological process. It's a normal process. It's the same way the baby is growing bigger. It's the same way the baby is stating. It's just one of those milestones. So the child does not need to, it's not a sickness, it's not a disease. So the child does not need to use anything for teeth. The child does not need to take any medication. The child does not need to do anything. So just leave the child alone because it's a normal physiological process. It doesn't cause the child any illness. If your child is sick, don't assume it's teething. Kindly please take the child to the hospital. Don't say it's teething, it's anything. No, and please do not give teething mixture. Do not give teething powder. I know you've not asked any question, but I know that's. But I always know what mothers are asking when they even voice it out.
Asking.
Please don't use any of those things. Your child does not need them. Just keep breastfeeding your baby, and when your baby teeth are out, all you need to do is to clean the teeth with a soft with toothbrush and toothpaste. Even if it's only one tooth, the dentist say you should start using the toothbrush and the toothpaste. So you don't need to give anything for teething per se. I hope that's answer your questions. And if you think the child is having fever or anything, give paracetamol. If the child is not better, please take the child to the hospital because it is not teething that is causing all those problems. All right. Okay, I
Okay,
think
ma'am.
we've answered that question. Let's move on.
Yes. Okay, the next question is from Lizzie Inako. She's asking, what's the cause of an itching eye for a baby of 11 months? Any remedy, please?
Of course, there are so many things that could make a baby to have itching eyes, and usually it's as simple as the fact that some babies, when they are playing, their hands get into their faces, into their eyes, and sometimes because they are crawling, they are moving around that period, they've already touched so many dirty surfaces, and that's why you really need to make sure you wash their hands. So, in the process of touching their eyes from the dirty hands, they can introduce germs and things into their eyes, and that will itch them, and so they will start and then they will start actually rubbing the eyes the more and that will make it get red and all that. So what you need to do in such cases, you sometimes it's an infective process. The eyes may have turned red, they may be watering. Then you really need to see a doctor who will now decide to use maybe antibiotic eye drop. Sometimes it could be allergies. Some children have what we call allergic conjunctivitis, and they tend to have red eyes and itching eyes. So for such children as well, you just need to see your doctor. So please don't try to self-medicate them. Just but the most important thing is the prevention. Make sure that the children wash their hands often and discourage them from having to rub their eyes and all that. So I hope that helps with that.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, Claribel is saying thank you. I
Yeah,
think we've
we've
answered
answered
that
that
question.
question. Yeah.
But Binta is back again.
Yeah.
She says children with SS are advised to be given vaccine called Prevena 13 yearly.
Yeah, okay. Beans, yeah, I've answered. That's the vaccine I was talking about. I told you about the pneumococcal conjugate vaccine. So Prevena is just one of the trade name of one of those vaccines. So that's what I told you. The children are given the vaccine, but they don't need to take it every 13 years. Sometimes they get a booster dose, but I don't think it's every 13 years. So usually we give them, every child now gets the same vaccine. It's not even not only sickle cell children with sickle cell anemia. Every child gets it at 6 weeks, 10 weeks, 14 weeks, and then that is all. But maybe for those who have sickle cell anemia, sometimes we give them booster doses at 5 years. We may also give at 10. So there are different countries have different approaches to how they give it. You understand? So, like I said, it is just to protect them against having that infection with
Infection.
pneumococcal bacteria. That's basically what it is. So you are right. The child should get the vaccine, but I'm not sure it's every 13 years. But you should discuss with your um consultant, because every child with sickle cell anemia should be going to a sickle cell clinic, should be seeing an hematologist regularly for checkups, even if they're not sick. So it's not only when they're sick that you need to take them to the hospital. So they should go to the hospital regularly, and you should, they should be going for regular follow-ups, and they will be discussing all those what we call routine health checks and care for sickle cell anemia with you. All right. Okay, I hope that
All right.
answers you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay. Olabodema Conjola is asking, please, can a 3-year-old that has been having respiratory allergies be termed asthmatic?
I don't know what you mean by respiratory allergies. So, but asthma, because asthma is one of the allergic conditions, and of course, that involves the child. So, any child who has needed to be nebulized twice, any child who is having recurrent wheezing and requiring the fact that the child needs to be nebulized. Once you've had it more than twice, you can be time asthmatic. That is what it is. I know sometimes parents don't like the label of asthma and all that. So sometimes the doctors also tend to use we call it recurrent wheezers, allergic. People are just trying to avoid using the word asthma so as not to make
Asthma.
the parents uh to panic, because actually there are some children that will wheeze for some time, maybe each time they have respiratory infections, and they would then stop. They would not necessarily be asthmatic. But there are but once a child starts having recurrent wheezing and needing to go to the hospital using inhalers and all that, chronic cough and all that, the child has asthma, and it just that it may be a mild one, it is not every asthma that is severe. It could be moderate, it could be mild, it could be severe. And each attack is also different. This is not a day on talking about asthma. But I don't think the most important thing is to worry about the name. The most important thing is to make sure that the child is getting the right treatment. Now, there are some children, if they're having recurrent attacks, those children need to be on what we call preventive medication. And that's the problem with when you don't give the right terminology. Because when you don't give the right terminology, you will just be treating each attack separately, each episode of the weeks or whatever. But if you put it the right label, that once a child who is having asthma is having so many attacks in a week, then that child needs to be on a preventive medication. Whereas it's those children who have mild one, who just have episode of wheezing once in a blue moon or once in a year or something like that, those kind of children, they don't need to be on preventive medication. But if your child is having something recurrently, every week the child needs to be nebulized, every week the child needs to go to the hospital, is using the what we call rescue inhalers, the Ventolin inhalers and all that, is using it very frequently, then you really need to make sure you see the pediatrician and let the child be on medication. Okay. All right. So,
Okay. All right.
Olabode, so it's about terminologies, but if I'm suspecting correctly, I think that child most likely have asthma, but maybe somebody is scared to give you the diagnosis. Yeah. Okay. We'll move on.
Okay. Claribel is asking a new question. How do you know if a baby will stammer?
You won't know until the baby starts to stammer. I mean, why are you worried whether the baby will stammer or not? I mean, I don't know. Sometimes mothers like to borrow trouble for tomorrow. Please don't bother yourself whether the baby will stammer or not. When the baby stammers, then let's deal with it. There's no way you will know whether the baby will stammer or not. And even knowing ahead it's not going to make any difference. I mean, what are you going to do about it? They're not going to do anything. It's not as if there's a preventive medication or anything to start with. So I think she just let the baby be. Don't worry yourself, Claribel. All right. Okay.
Oyedele Idowu Kemi is asking, is it normal for a 9-month-old baby not to have any teeth?
Okay, this is one of our okay, some of you that are asking this question, you must be our newcomers to ACP. New,
Newcomers.
because these are common questions we've answered, or what I call frequently asked ACP questions. So, like the dentist will tell you, there's absolutely nothing wrong with a baby not having teeth. And I always make a joke that, have you seen an adult without teeth before? Somebody who grew up, any who grew up and throughout their lifetime they never have teeth. I'm not sure you've seen any. So, which means that everybody will eventually have teeth. So you don't need to worry yourself about it. So some babies may not cut their first tooth until they are 13 months old, and it is perfectly normal. So don't worry. But the dentist recommend that once your child clocks 1 year, you should come and see them for routine check. So when you go to see the dentist at 1 year, if there are no teeth, the dentist will tell you what to do. But usually they will say they won't worry even until after 13 months if the child does not have the first tooth. So don't worry. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Lawal Adebayo is asking, I was told sometimes ago at the hospital that my daughter of 1 year, 10 months has shortage of blood, excuse me.
Yeah, yeah.
Please, what can I give her to always boost her blood?
Okay, Binta, sorry, Lawal Adebayo, thank you for your question. Number one, shortage of blood is what we call anemia. And what you really need to know first is what is the cause of this anemia, because there are different causes, and how short of blood is your baby. Those are the things we need to know. So it's difficult for me to answer that question directly without knowing the cause. There are children that have what we call nutritional anemia, which is what is the commonest. So maybe the child is not getting enough iron, enough of this in the food, enough of vitamin B12, enough of folic acid, and because of that, the child will have anemia. But there are children that also have anemia due to chronic diseases. Maybe the child has a particular disease condition, and that disease condition is associated with anemia. For example, people with kidney disease and things like that, or even like sickle cell anemia. Children with sickle cell anemia, for example, if it's sickle cell anemia that is causing the shortage of blood, that child will not benefit from you giving them iron. In fact, we don't give blood tonic, or what we popularly call blood tonic iron, to children with sickle cell anemia. So it is difficult to say what you should do without knowing the specific cause of anemia in your child. So what I would suggest for you,
Child.
number one, go back to your doctors, ask them how short of blood is your baby. Let them do the various tests. The doctors usually know what tests to do to know the underlying cause of the anemia. Is it nutrition? For example, if it's nutritional anemia, the child will not just be short of blood. The child will also be underweight. The child will also have other signs of nutritional problems, malnutrition. So we will know it's a nutritional problem. Or they also need to check, does the child have any other chronic condition? Like some children, they break down their blood. They have what we call hemolysis for different reasons, like those who have GCPD deficiency, for example, like sickle cell anemia. So we need to know the specific cause of anemia in your child to be able to answer what is the way to boost a blood. Okay. But generally,
Okay.
all children will benefit from good nutrition, good food, but please don't start blood tonic until you know what is causing, unless your doctors has recommended blood tonic, which means the doctor suspect is iron deficiency anemia that is causing the problem. All right.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, Binta, you're
Binta is finally
welcome.
satisfied.
Lizzie,
Thank you. All
yes.
right.
Lizzie, you're welcome also. Okay,
Okay.
one of the moderators has copied the question.
Yeah.
Yemi is asking, good morning, ma. Please, is it normal for a child of 1 year and 2 months to have just two teeth? And also, what can I use to treat rashes on the face of my son of 14 months? Thank you, ma.
All right. Thank you, Yemi, for your question, and thank you, Latunji, for helping us to copy. Okay, so I've answered the first question. At least yours have at least two teeth. Your own have two teeth. So the first person doesn't have any at all. So you are senior now. So don't worry. There's, like I said, when we talk about teeth eruption, there are in just like every other thing else in life, it's average. There's no like a specific time. So we usually have like an average timeline. So between so month to so month. Then we also have what we call the
Yeah, that's it.
cutoff point where we will now start to worry. You understand? So like I said,
Okay.
2 months old baby, you should go and see a dentist anyway if you have not seen one. Not because we are worried about the number of teeth your baby has, but because the dentist recommended that baby should have their first dental check at age of 1 year,
Age
so
of
that they
one.
can start teaching you how to proper, dental care and things like that. So I would recommend that you see your dentist, but there's no need for you to worry. There's nothing absolutely wrong with your baby having just two teeth at age of 14 months. Now, the second part of your question is about the rashes. Now, the issue with rashes, which I always answer ATP moms, and sometimes people don't understand that just telling us my baby has rashes and you want me to tell you what to do, it's not helpful. Number one, rashes have to be seen because there are different types of rashes. There are different causes of skin rashes. There are rashes that the doctor will say and tell you this is nothing, there's nothing you need to do. Just wait for it to clear on its own. And but there are rashes that can be due to fungal infection. There are rashes that are due to bacteria. There are rashes that are we don't even know the cause. They are like allergic in terms of some are due to reaction to maybe something you're using, either the food the child is eating or things like that. So I don't know what kind. There are even eat rashes due to eat, and things like that. So it's difficult for a doctor to tell you just by you telling me my baby has rashes. What should I use? I can't answer that question because I don't know what kind of rash your baby
Rash.
has and what is causing the rash. So you really need to go to the doctor, see the doctor first. When they see your baby, then they will be able to advise you on the appropriate um treatment depending, and it is not every rash that needs a treatment. And I was
Treatment.
just while we are still on this topic of rash, can I quickly sound a warning? Some mothers, I mean they are I don't know how to call them, the mom doctors. Once they see a rash, they will just say you go and buy so kiriko, go and buy so cream, go and buy. Sometimes the dermatologists have told us several times, sometimes some of those creams actually worsen the rashes. If, for example, if your baby has a bacteria kind of skin rash, and then you went to go and buy a cream that has steroids in it, you're actually going to worsen it because it's not I mean the steroid is actually going to slow down it's going to worsen the
The
infection process. You understand? So that is why we always tell mothers, please don't do self-medication. Don't just go to the chemist and they'll just say, yeah, buy that one. That one is good. I see even on ACP, when people post questions, before we answer the question, some mothers are saying, go and buy so cream. That is not how doctors work. We need to make a diagnosis first. It is after we make the diagnosis that we will now be able to uh, it is after we make the diagnosis that we will now be able to, you know, recommend the appropriate treatments, and that's what I'll recommend for you. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. The next question is from Austin. Is it normal for a 4 month baby to be wanting breast milk every time? And what do you do when she has been fed and wants more as she is very unsettled?
Okay, so there are so many ways to answer that question. Number one, there's nothing wrong for a 4 month old baby to want breast milk all the time. I mean, that is what the baby should eat. So that is absolutely fine. But there are so many unanswered questions in that question as well that I really need to clarify. Number one, babies like to suck not because they are hungry. Sometimes they just like to suck because they want to be close to their mother. They want to feel your warmth.
Mother.
And it's also a sign of attachment for them. It's a sign of reassurance that you are not running away. So they want to be sure of their food security. So sometimes, because some mothers worry a lot, they think, oh, the baby is not satisfied, and that's why the baby is sucking. No, sometimes baby are satisfied. And that's why you will notice that some of them, when they eventually you put them to that breast, they will just hold the breast with their mouth. They are not actually sucking it.
We're not
And then
sucking.
they will sleep off, and then immediately you try to take away the breast again, they will quickly wake up.
Put them out.
They put their mouth back. It's a sign of security. They just want to, because you are the only person they know. They want to be sure, number one, that the food is not running away and that the food will still be there and that you are still there for them. So it's a sign of security. That is number one approach. The number two is that, are we sure you are actually breastfeeding well enough and making sure that the baby is taking behind me, because you need to breastfeed for over like 10 to 20 minutes, because the first part of breast milk is watery. It doesn't satisfy the baby. It's the latter part, which is the thicker, the richer, the fattier part, that actually give that satiety, that feeling of fullness. So sometimes when mothers breastfeed quickly, 5 minutes, they quickly remove the baby from the breast. The baby has only take the formic. So that baby within 20 minutes or will wake up again, because baby is not yet satisfied and
Because
baby
it's
wants to
hungry.
suck. So you need to make sure that you really empty the breast. When you are breastfeeding, you must empty one breast. You must breastfeed for at least 10 to 20 minutes on one breast. And then when you finish with that one, then you switch. Because when the baby is fully satisfied, that baby should be able to sleep for over like 2 to 3 hours before needing breast milk again. So that is
Again.
another approach. So you need to make sure that you're actually breastfeeding long enough. So if you are lactating well and you're breastfeeding long enough, then your baby will not need to be needing breast milk every time. If the baby is needing breast milk every time and you are really sure you are lactating well and you are really filling off the baby, then it's more likely of an attachment issue. The baby just wants to be close. So in that case, what you need to do, you don't really need to put the baby to breast. You just need to hold the baby to you
Oh,
for a while
baby.
and let the baby sleep. Then you can just put to bed. Sometimes you may have to put them in some of these rocking things, and just to get them. And sometimes babies are unsettled because of colic. There may be, or the baby may actually be sick for other reasons. That's why I said there are so many things in your question that unless you give us more details, we won't be able to answer. Most babies also have colic, and sometimes it's not the breast they want, but sometimes the sucking is something that is like pleasurable. So sometimes when baby are discomforted, they want the breast. It's not because of the milk, it's because it's a way of making them doing something pleasurable to kind of overshadow the
Shadow
discomfort
the
of the
pain.
colic. Yeah, the pain. When we don't really say the having pain, but
You
it's
call
discomfort.
it pain, yeah.
Okay.
Discomfort.
So
Okay. I
so
get that, ma.
so Austin, if you rephrase your question, if you give me more specific details about your own baby, then I may be able to tell you what to do in your own baby. Though by the age of 4 months, colic should be going away, but sometimes in some babies it can persist longer. All right.
Okay, Owosheni Akinshawa is asking, my a year and 1 month old baby is having bow leg. Please, doctor, what can we do or use to correct the bow leg?
Okay.
Note, the baby weighs 12 kg at 1 year.
Okay. So bow leg is can be physiological, as babies are in that age of toddler, they sometimes have that bow leg, but as they grow taller, the thing will stretch out. Sometimes it could be due to things like rickets,
Stretching.
like vitamin D deficiency, or it could be due to some other condition like we call Blount disease and things like that. So for me, I would just say see your pediatrician first, so that they can examine the baby and know which of them. Usually, most of us will do things like if it's really bow leg, there's one we will see. We will even know that this is just still within normal limits, something we just need to watch and wait and see. But sometimes, parents, they want their babies perfect, everything must be perfect. So, but if you're worried enough to ask a question, I'll just say, see the doctors. Let them, when we check the calcium level, when sometimes we do some x-rays, we'll know whether is it rickets or not. Then we can now advice. If it's rickets, just giving the calcium and other things, depending on vitamin D or whatever. Then if it's other condition, then they will advise you further. But I think sometimes it's just within what we call the physiological one, and then eventually it will stretch out, so you may not need to worry yourself. All right.
Okay, Olabode is back again with more
Okay.
information.
Information. Yeah.
The issue of this respiratory infection has happened like about 5 times within 1 year between age 2 and 3. And for every one of them, it was nebulized.
I think your child has asthma. So if you give me that kind of history, it's bronchial asthma. There's no need coining it with any other name. The child has been nebulized
That
5 times within 1 year. The child is asthmatic. And I'm suspecting the child may need to be on preventive medication as well. So I recommend that you go to the respiratory clinic for children in any of the teaching hospital close to you. Most of them have a clinic. Some call it asthma clinic, some just call it respiratory clinic. But you really need to see a pediatrician. There are tests that they would do. There are ways they monitor the children, but it's important that you do that. Yeah. Okay. Actually, if there's also a family history of asthma, it's even stronger here.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Temitope, for copying this question. Emily is asking, please, doc, my 15-month-old son keeps having very hard stools. We have to manually evacuate. Wow. We saw a pediatrician who asked us to give liquid paraffin daily. How long can we continue this? Thank you.
Okay, so you didn't tell us how long you've given the liquid paraffin anyway, and you didn't tell us when it started. So, but liquid paraffin is a treatment for constipation, so it is perfectly okay to use it. But the most important thing is to address the root cause of the um constipation
Constipation.
itself. So the first thing is, what kind of food are you giving your 15-month-old? So are you giving lots of water? Are you giving fruits? Are you giving vegetables? So you need to give food that are rich in fiber, because mothers, I know it's easier for us to do milk, it's easier for us to do all these biscuits and stuff like that, but they don't really contain fiber. So you really need to make sure that whatever, and I know that sometimes children don't like fruits and veggies, but you have to find a way of sneaking it in. So you would need to, beyond just the liquid paraffin, because that one is supposed to be a temporary measure to soften the hard stool to come out. But you need to now prevent the baby from having as to, number one, you need to make sure your baby takes water. This your baby should be drinking at least nothing less than 1.5 liters of water. Not necessarily as water, you can drink it as I mean fluid. It may be as tea or whatever you want to give. You should make sure the baby takes lots of water. Don't give water only when the child is eating. The child should just drink water throughout the whole day. And then apart from that, give fruits and veggies, things like if you're in, I think Nigerians, things like okra, ewedu, those kind of things, because they are drawing, children can easily take them compared to the other kind of vegetables. But even the other vegetables, like if you are making porridge, yam porridge or potato porridge, you can, cut like your ugu and all that. You
So,
make it so tiny, and you mash it into everything. The child will not even notice it. So if you may want to go and watch our nutrition course on complementary feeding. Most of the constipation in this age is because most of those children are on cereals. Only I'm not mentioning any name, but the store bought cereals, and that's all they take, or the pap, and that's all they take 24/7. Different flavors and all that. But they need to start eating normal food, and more importantly, even your fruits. You can blend them. All these smoothies, you can blend them, then have the milk. The child will not even know they are taking fruits or veggies. There are many ways by which you can get this thing. Your blender is your friend at this age. So you blend everything together. The child will just take it as if it's also taking one of those cereal drink or something. And the child is
cereal.
the child is getting lots of fruits and veggies. Once you start doing that, that will really help with the constipation. Unless the child also has a medical condition, because there are some other medical conditions that can cause chronic constipation, like children with H-prong disease and all that. But I assume that if it persists, then that's when your pediatrician will recommend further investigation along that line. But the first and foremost, we need to make sure that the child is getting food that is rich in fiber, food, a lot of fluids and things like that. And if you do that, veggies, and the child is still having constipation, then we now need to do something else. All right.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Miriam is asking, does taking folic acid during pregnancy have a side effect on the fetus?
No, in fact, it is when you don't take folic acid that the child can actually have problems. So please, thank you so much, Miriam, for this question, because it's something we should always say every time we are on live and have opportunity to talk to people. All pregnant women, in fact, not all pregnant women, all women of childbearing
All
age.
women.
All women of, in fact, there's one of my colleague, consultant pediatrician. She told me that whenever she's going for wedding, she gives folic acid as wedding gifts. She package it, big roses. She package it and give it to the. I'm serious. That's what she gives as wedding gift, because you should start taking it, because she knows that a married woman can get pregnant at any time, and most of them will not plan for. Once you are married in Nigeria, you don't plan for pregnancy. Pregnancy just fall on you. So you must start taking your folic acid from day one. In fact, all our girls, you know should be any girl or from even from 15, 18, once they are of childbearing age, and they should start taking their folic acid so that we can prevent
Okay.
conditions like spinal bifida, so because this is it's very very sad when we have babies having these disabilities that could just have been prevented just by taking. I mean, one of the cheapest drug is folic acid. I think you can get 100 for maybe like 15 naira or something as ridiculous as that. So please, all mothers should take folic acid. So if you are pregnant, please take your folic acid. Some women say I don't like taking folic acid. Please, you need to take it. And alternatively, also eat food rich vegetables that are also contain. They're also good source of folic acid. It's not for you
I
only. It's
see.
for your baby. It's not only about blood. It's also about the baby not having congenital malformation. So please, and congenital malformation of the nervous system especially, it could be very dangerous. So please take your folic acid. Thank you, Miriam.
Thank you, doctor. Obioma is asking, my wife and I have learned a lot on the, oh, good morning, great job. God bless you
Thank,
guys. My wife and
thank
I
you,
have learned a
Obioma.
lot on this platform. Please, we
Thank you.
noticed this morning that my 3 weeks old baby is having catarrh, but she isn't running temperature.
Okay, so Obioma, thank you so much for the beautiful feedback. We appreciate. We're happy that you're also learning. So your 3 weeks old baby, you need to keep the baby warm, and then I hope your wife is practicing exclusive breastfeeding, which I'm sure you have learned from us. So please, and also keep the baby warm, and make sure the mother keep breastfeeding exclusively. And if there's any of you that is giving the baby catarrh, please let the person stay away from the baby, because most time babies pick this up from you or mother or all the visitors. And in Nigerian culture now, everybody must come and greet baby. And when they come with all their germs, all their viruses, and it doesn't disturb them. But this baby is so fragile, is new, it doesn't it's so when you people come and greet baby, carry baby, you introduce those germs. So please take all the adults that have cough and catarrh, or that have even the siblings, they should stay away from the baby, because most times that's where the baby gets it from. Or try and make sure the baby is warm. I mean, what I mean warm, wrap the baby well, make sure the baby is properly clothed and all that. Then anybody touching baby, let them wash their hands. Let them wash their hands. And I always say, please just keep the baby away from visitors. Just let the mother come and greet the visitors, but let the baby be inside the room. But I know sometimes everybody wants to see the new baby, but sometimes they leave all these unwanted gifts behind. So that, but you don't need to give any medication, you don't need to give anything. Just keep breastfeeding, keep the baby warm, and the baby will be fine. All right. Tommy, can we go to the next question? Okay, so Ganiat is asking, my child of 2 years have watery eye and sometimes discharge from the eyes, even after taking series of antibiotics and eye drop. Please, what can be the cause and what can I use to stop it? Okay, Ganiat, that sounds like your child may have, just a minute, I think I'll need to get to me back. Okay, Ghanaians is asking. So, from what you've said, it sounds like your child may have what we call allergic conjunctivitis, and what you need to do is to see an ophthalmologist. Unfortunately, it's a condition that tends to wax and wane. It comes and goes, so it may take a while before it goes away. So, I would recommend that see the you should see the ophthalmologists for further treatments. They know what to do. There are some medications that they can use. Okay, we'll continue. I'm trying to see if I can bring Tommy back to us. Okay, I hope you guys can see hear us. If you can hear us, just let me know in comments so that we know that we're talking to you. And I'm still trying to see if we can bring Tommy back online. Okay, somebody is saying thank you, Dr. Bemi. Thank you for joining us. Another question. Fumilayo is asking, good morning. Uh, my son of 11 months does not sleep well during the day, during the night. Okay, Fumilayo, that question is too generic. We need to have more information before we can answer the question or as the reason why your baby is not sleeping well. Is your baby sick? Is your baby having fever? What is going on with your baby? So since you are not sure, I think it's best to actually take that child to the hospital so that the doctors can examine your baby and then they'll be able to give you the appropriate information. Okay. All right. So he is saying, thank you. We can see you. Uh, Sandra is asking, okay, somebody, thank you, Joyce, for letting me know you can hear me because I was not sure whether I'm offline or is, okay, thank you. So I'll just continue while we wait for Tommy to join us back. Sandra is asking, please, doctor, my 1 year, 5 month baby weighs 12 kg. Should I be worried? His weight is 2.8 kg and he doesn't eat well. He has reached his milestone and is very active and healthy. Sandra, I am not worried about your baby. A 1 year old child should be weighing one 10 kg and a 2 year old child should be weighing 12 kg. So your baby is weighing 12 kg. So your baby is already having the weight of a 12 kg child. And I'm surprised that you are saying your baby is not eating well. Obviously, your baby is eating enough for him, so that you don't need to worry. So just continue and then just keep feeding the baby. Your baby's weight is fine. I don't think you need to worry. Andrin is asking, our time is almost up. We'll soon be round up because this is supposed to be, we're supposed to close by 11. But I'll just take out the question I have already, then we can round up. Andrew is asking, hello, my 1 year old very active baby, she can't sit down. Can I say she's hyper or she's normal? Andrea, I'm not sure I understand your question. Is it that your baby is not yet sitting or that your baby is so active she doesn't sit down at all? I think you should clarify what you really mean. So please, okay, I think Tommy is coming back. So, Andrew, can you clarify your question? Then we can ask it. You can ask us again. Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. Adisha, why? Okay, yeah, Tommy is back. Okay, Tommy, welcome back.
Okay, thank you, ma.
Sorry, I think you have some technical challenge. You went off.
Yes.
Okay, so can you just? I don't know. Adisha said she can't hear us, but other people can hear her. So I guess maybe you need to refresh.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, maybe she should refresh as well. Okay, but other people said they can hear us, so we'll continue. Okay, so Toby, can you ask the next question? We just have we should be running up in 5-10 minutes because it's our
Yes,
time is
ma.
almost up.
That's why I'm trying to get the
Question. Okay, let me
question.
read the
Ooh,
next one.
okay.
Emily is
Emily is
asking.
asking.
Okay, go ahead. You
My
can say it now.
3-year-old nephew always has a running nose. He brings out thick mucus. His breathing is heavy and sounds like there is a blockage. We have used several antibiotics. What can we do?
I think you should stop using several antibiotics. So you didn't tell me you've seen a pediatrician. You didn't tell me you've seen an ENT surgeon. So please, Emily, take that child to see the specialist first, and they will tell you what to do. I have an idea what could be wrong. I'm thinking the child could have maybe adenoid hypertrophy or tonsillitis or things like that, or even sinusitis. But that child needs to be seen by the specialist, usually the pediatrician or the ENT. Please, let's stop abusing antibiotics. Using antibiotics without a doctor's prescription is wrong, and it's not so good for the children because the child may develop what we call antibiotic resistance, and that can be very dangerous. Okay, so please take the child to see a doctor. All right.
Lola de Rafiat, doctor already talked about folic acid during pregnancy. Yes, yes, yes.
You can take it, but I don't know. Vitamin D, you have to be careful about vitamin D in pregnancy. So, most doctors don't prescribe vitamin D, vitamin A in pregnancy because there's a dose that can be too much and that
Much.
can cause problems. So, please use only what your doctor prescribed. Don't go and use, if you want to use anything on your own, folic acid is fine. You can use folic acid, you can use iron, you can use multivitamin, but please, any other thing else, ask your doctor. Vitamin A, vitamin D, you need to be careful. So you please only see your doctor. Your doctor will know what to do. So please, it's very important.
Jennifer is asking, please, my baby always push before she can pull. And when the pull comes out, it will be hard and greenish. I did exclusive breastfeeding for 3 months, but she's taking papa milk now. She'll be 6 months on 12th of this month.
I think you were too early with your complementary feeding. Your baby should still be on exclusive breastfeeding until the 12th of this month. So I don't know why you are rushing. I always tell mothers some of these are trying to beat or cut corners doesn't help us. And you're already even doing PAP. And if you can't even do exclusive breastfeeding, what we recommend is you can give your formula. I mean, I don't recommend, but I mean, if that's the best scenario, if you have no option, please give milk, not pap. No, I mean, it's too early for pap. Most of these things, the baby's stomach cannot digest it, and that is why it is recommended that you give milk. So I think you really need to go. I think you should stop the pap. Give your baby exclusive breast milk. If you can't do breast milk, give formula. When baby is 6 months, you can now start complementary feedings. And as regards the complementary feeding, kindly go to our group and you can see we have our nutrition 102 course on
Yeah,
complementary
yeah,
feeding. So yeah, so that you have enough information on how to go about this complementary feeding. That will help you with all this constipation, and greenish stool is a sign of starvation. It means the baby is not getting enough food. You understand? So that's what I recommend.
Abone is asking, please, ma, how do you if a baby has tongue tie?
Okay, I know most babies don't have tongue tie, and most mothers worry, but just get your doctor to examine the baby for you, and they will tell you whether the baby has tongue tie or not. So I don't rely on mother's examination because you always think because there's what we call the friend number. But if you go to our page, if you go to our website as well at
Website.
www.askthepediatrician.com, a mother actually sent me a very beautiful picture of a child which she is asking whether the child has tongue tie, and I'm like, this is a very beautiful picture because it's actually the normal picture. So you can go and look at the picture and decide whether that's what your baby looks like, and then you can decide that your baby doesn't have tongue tie. But if you think your baby still has tongue tie, then kindly see your doctor to examine for you, and then you can be sure.
Good afternoon. My son is having difficulty when pooping, and the stools are hard. It has started since he was born. Now he's 2 years. Please help.
Yeah, you need to go and see the pediatric surgeons. So take your baby to the hospital. Like I said, there are some conditions we'll call, like one of them is what we call H-prong disease. It can make children to have recurrent constipation. So the doctors know what to do, but you really need to see a pediatrician or a pediatric surgeon as soon as you can. Okay, I think we're rounding up. Okay,
Okay.
Ayola can hear us now.
Tolulopa is asking, please, when I had my baby 2 weeks ago, I noticed he had mild eye coloration after birth, but the doctor said it's normal. If it doesn't change, I should check back. But the eyes are very white now. Baby is doing well. Is there anything I should be worried about?
I don't know why you still want to worry about anything, but I think you as a mother, that's your job description to worry about everything. I mean, your baby is normal now, the eyes are white, and you're still worried. Please don't be worried. You don't need to be worried about anything. Okay. So don't worry about anything, all right. No, that's a typical mother. Even when everything is normal, they still want to know whether they should worry or not.
Right.
So you don't have to worry, but I guess that's the mother in you. Okay.
Eunice is asking, I want to know the
Ah.
routes one can take for ulcer and fibroid.
Please stop asking me about roots and herbs. I'm not an herbalist. I've said it several times. And definitely, I'm a pediatrician. And as a pediatrician, I only talk about child health issues. So, number one, I'm not even going, even if you're going to ask me about ulcer and fibroid, I'm not going to answer because that's not what I do as a pediatrician. And then you are not asking me about roots again. You want me to become an herbalist? Of course, I have no idea about it at all. Okay.
Najite is asking, my 5 weeks old was born 2.9 kg, but she has not gained her birth weight yet at 5 weeks. She's eating very well and looks happy, though we had the scan and she has a 2.57 VSD. Could that be the reason for the lack of weight gain? Bless you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Najiti, I think you have your answer already. Yes, most likely it's a VSD. But how are you feeding the baby? Is baby on exclusive breastfeeding? The baby getting enough milk? Sometimes for babies with congenital heart disease, we will always want you to give them um with spoon, cup and spoon instead of with direct breastfeeding because when they suck directly, they tend to use a lot more energy. So, but kindly see your pediatricians and your pediatric cardiologists. They'll be able to advise you for that. But I suspect that the VSD could be contributory, but you also make sure you are feeding properly. Okay.
Asking, good morning, lovely mothers and able doctor. My baby of 5 months and 3 weeks has been having catarrh and cough. What can I do, please?
Okay, what you need to do is to make sure number one, you keep the baby warm. Are you breastfeeding exclusively because your baby is still 5 months? So, and that should protect the baby. But if child is having fever, is having difficulty with breathing, then you need to take the baby to see a doctor. Most catarrh and cough will go away within 2 weeks, within 14 days max because it's a viral infection. But if your baby is having fever or your baby is having fast or difficulty with breathing, then that is more than just the upper respiratory infection and you may need to see a doctor. Or if you think you are just not happy with the way baby is looking, then I would recommend that you see a pediatrician as soon as you can for that. But don't give cough syrup if that's what you wanted to ask me. Don't give anything like that. Keep the baby warm, keep breastfeeding, and then if the baby is not better or you think baby is getting worse, then you really need to see a pediatrician. All right.
Omomi is asking, my son of 9 years always have frequent tonsillitis. Is it possible to outgrow at a particular age?
It depends on if the child has something like a large tonsils and adenoids and all that, sometimes the child may need to have it. But your baby is already 9 years, and usually they outgrow it by the time they're about 5, 6. So if your child is still having a serious problem with it at 9 years, I think you should see an ENT surgeon. Most likely they may have to take it out. That may be the final solution. So see an ENT doctor, and then they will be able to advise you further. All right.
Okay. We are
Yeah,
running.
that's the third way. Okay,
Uh,
we're running late, so we will just finish all the questions that have dropped by 11, and then we'll move on. What I would suggest is that if you see a question after this video live broadcast, you can kindly go to Ask the Pediatrician group. If you know our group, if you don't know the group, just go to Facebook and type Ask the Pediatricians, and you will see Ask the Pediatricians group. We're about 526, so you know 1,000 members, so you know you're in the right place. Drop your questions there, and we will take it from there. Please don't drop your questions on the live broadcast because we can't answer it after the live broadcast. If you drop your question on the live broadcast or if you drop your question on the watch party, we won't be able to see it to answer. Go to the group and drop it as a new post, completely new, then we'll be able to answer it. All right. So
Please,
let me just
how
run
can...
through all the ones that are here already so that we can
Okay,
move on.
ma. Yes,
Yeah,
ma.
so I will just be giving one line answer. Bironka is asking how to manage or guide against pneumonia recurrence. So how to manage pneumonia. Pneumonia has to be treated in the hospital, so take the child to the pediatricians. How to avoid recurrence, ensure your baby has all the pneumococcal vaccine. It is not foolproof, but it can help. Also, make sure you avoid smoking. Any of the parents should not smoke or avoid smokes generally, cooking indoors and things like that. Good nutrition and all those things help. No, but baby is already 6 months, so exclusive breastfeeding is over anyway. All right. Joyce is saying thank you. Isn't it? Good morning. Oh, please, when you ask question, ask us 3 or 4 lines. When you write a whole episode, it's so difficult for us to even see ourselves. Okay, but Doris is saying my baby of 18 months always issues his eyes, and this has yeah, and he has this skin infection. All right. Okay. Is it Doris? I think your baby has allergic problems, most likely allergic conjunctivitis and also atopic eczema. So I think you really need to see both the ophthalmologist and the dermatologist, and they will take it up from there. All right, thank you. Favor, can I give my baby? Yeah, whenever she pulls. Yes, sometimes you will see the veggies in the pool because there are some parts of it that the baby cannot digest, but it's
Yes.
good because those fiber parts, it helps with bowel motion. It helps to make sure your baby doesn't get constipated. So you don't worry about the fact that you are seeing part of the veggies in there. So that's fine. Agnes is saying my baby will react to baby milk. So if your baby reacts to the milk, please stop the milk, Agnes, and give something other milk. It doesn't mean your baby will react to all the milk. You can give other things, but apart from, you can keep breastfeeding your baby. Obviously, your baby didn't react to your own breast milk, then you can give other food. If you go to our nutrition 102 course, you will have enough information about that. All right, I just want to rush through all this question. We need to round up now. Abosede is saying my baby has hiccups every feed. Most babies have hiccups. There's nothing you need to do. It will go on its own and it will stop. So Abosede, don't worry. It's one of those minor things. Ajewale is saying what can cause high temperature? There are 1,001 causes of fever in babies, Ajewale. So it's difficult. Malaria can cause it, infection can cause it, even sometimes dehydration, even sometimes the hot weather. So you really need to see a doctor first who will now know, after asking so many questions, what is the specific cause of the fever in your own baby. And then you'll be able to, yeah. Okay, Emily is asking, thanks, doctor. My baby takes a lot of water, take whatever. He isn't walking yet or crawling too. I'm not sure what was the last question. It was,
She was
I
talking
think,
about constipation earlier.
okay, so that's fine. But you say your baby is not walking or crawling. Are you sure she's not the one that asks about my baby is not sitting? What should I do or things like that? I'm not sure. Anyway, Emily, I hope we've answered your question. But if not, please drop it on our group. We will take it after because we can't. We are already out of time. But I just want to answer those who have dropped questions already. Omalaya is asking if the kids were bitten by mosquito, is it advisable to treat malaria immediately? No, please don't. If your baby doesn't have malaria, please don't treat malaria. You only treat malaria when the baby has malaria. So mosquito bite is not the same thing as malaria. Okay, thank you. I think we're almost the last one. Oluwashim, my baby has been having sore tongue. I don't understand what you mean by sore tongue. I don't know. You mean does she have wounds on her tongue and things like that? I don't know. Most time it could be due to vitamin deficiency, but say you've seen a pediatrician, I'll recommend you go back to the pediatrician for follow-up. If you are not satisfied with the pediatrician, you can see one in the teaching hospital because in the teaching hospital we have we have the super specialists, even though they are, apart from being pediatrician, they also have extra qualification. Yeah, Tolulokpe, what is your question? Okay. Mild eye discoloration. Yeah, you are the one that said your baby has mild eye discoloration and the eyes are white now. And you are asking whether you should worry again. I will tell you, you don't need to worry. If the thing has cleared, there's no need to worry. So don't be a worrier, mom. Okay. All right. I hope that has answered your question. All right, final one. Ezine is saying my baby of 8 weeks breathes like she has cough, though the doctor check her. Yeah, some babies sometimes have that. Please don't give pyritin. No, don't give pyritin. Don't give vitamin C to your 8 weeks old baby. Please, when your tiny babies are ill, take them to pediatrician. Don't take them to ordinary JP. Not because we don't trust them, but because there are some things we don't give in that age group. I mean, why would they be giving pyritin to your baby? And from what you describe, it could just sound like a normal. Some babies have that a little bit of noise when they are breathing, but there's really nothing wrong with them. Their chest will be clear. They don't really need anything. It's because their airway is not yet fully formed. And because of that, when they are breathing in, there's a little bit of collapsing and all that. So you tend to have some noise, but the child will be otherwise fine. So please, the child does not need pyritin. The child does not need vitamins. The child does not need anything more than breast milk. So kindly stop it and don't worry. But I know sometimes when you mothers disturb the doctors a lot, they will give you something so that you can just go off their back. All right, so I think we've answered all our questions, Toby. Yeah.
All
Yes,
right.
Desine,
Thank you
I
very
know
much.
I know the doctor recommended that. And the reason why the doctor recommended that sometimes to get you off the back because when you worry, but I can tell you as a pediatrician that you don't need to worry, okay? And next time when your baby has anything like that, just see a pediatrician, but because we deal more with babies. The other doctors are more in tune with adults. So they sometimes they just treat the babies like the older adults, which is what they will give you if you are the one. But sometimes children don't do that. And sometimes some things that will worry you in an adult will not worry you in a child. Okay, so I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying please don't do it again. All right. Okay, we are done.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Gbemisola. Thank
Yeah.
you very much, everybody, for joining also. Remember,
Yeah.
ATP Live holds every Saturday at 10 a.m. Join us
Yeah.
again for another episode next week.
Yeah.
And don't
Before
forget to support us for the coming
yes,
outreaches. We
yes.
have
So that
outreaches holding in 5 different states:
yes.
Lagos,
So
Abuja, Abeokuta, Kwara, and Abia. The
yes.
account
So
details are there.
oh, okay. I'm not sure whether they can say here, but if you go to our Facebook page, you will see our account details. Okay, yes, it's here now. So I hope you can all see it. Okay, sorry, I've gone Quora. Okay, Abeokuta here. So we can see all our outreach. And so if you have been blessed by this program, and just to know that this program has been brought to you courtesy of Ask the Pediatrician Foundation, and we are non for profit organization, but we also do beyond what we do online. We also do things outside the in the community, and we are doing our Independence Day medical outreach at the end of this month, 29th of September, and some on the 1st of October. So you can see our account details. You can see every information you need there. So we need your sponsorship, whether as individual or as corporate. We appreciate your support. That's our way of giving back to we're also giving it back to the society. And so we appreciate all your support. All right. So me, I think we're done. So
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
All
So
right. Thank you. If you have more questions, please just send them to the group. Don't drop them anymore on this video, please. Drop them on
and
the main group, pediatricians and moderators and professionals will attend to them as soon as possible.
yes. And
Thank you.
just to remind people that we have different platforms online. So we have our page where if you are on the video right now, you're actually on the Ask the Pediatrician Foundation page. But beyond the page, we also have our group, the Facebook group, and that is actually where we actually can answer your question 24/7. I mean, not 24/7, 24/6. We don't do it on
6
Sundays. Yeah, because
Sundays.
we take our Sundays to rise. But we also have our website, that is www.axepediatrician. If you look on this timeline now, you will see all this our website information www.axepediatricians.com, and also the information about our group is also
As
www.facebook.com/groups/axeped, and
prepared.
the one for the page is also showing as well. And we're also on YouTube, so if you've missed the video or all our previous ICP live videos, you don't have to worry. You can always see them on our page anyway, but you can also go to our YouTube channel, Ask the Pediatrician. Just go to YouTube and type Ask the Pediatricians, and then you will see all our all our videos of the previous programs, and we are I'm sure you will learn one thing or the other. And once again, just to say that for ATP Life, if you have products or program, or you have services that you want to advertise on our group, on our page, on our ATP Life program, which is very popular among mothers and parents, caregivers of children, you are free to contact us, and then we'll let you know. It's cheap, and it will be a way of supporting this all our various programs,
Okay.
which we do all for the children, for the welfare of children, not for anyone. We don't pay anyone for all that they do. All right, so that's just our announcement for the day. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you all with us today.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
All right, bye. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.